Alright, Sacramento isn't the sleepy state capital it used to be. It's shifting fast, and most people don't realize how different it'll feel in 2026. The pace, the neighborhoods, the lifestyle. This isn't the Sacramento you remember pulling off I-5 10 years ago, thinking it was just a bunch of state buildings and strip malls. I see this every single week. Some people move here and it just clicks. They found their lane. Others, they realize real quick, no one actually explained what it's really like living here. So if Sacramento's even been somewhere on your radar, a thought, a saved listing, a late night Zillow scroll, you're gonna wanna hear this because I'm not here to romanticize this place at all. I'm here to give you the real playbook, what works, what doesn't, and what you need to know before building a life in a city that's evolving faster than most people are paying attention to. Sacramento is going through a massive transformation right now. Sacramento is going through one of the most aggressive transformations locals have ever seen. And I'm not just talking about one or two new buildings, I'm talking about the entire city being reshaped. Now for decades, Sacramento has lived in San Francisco's shadow. It was the place you drive through, not to. But not in 2026. Completely different game here. The Bay Area migration that started during the pandemic hasn't stopped. We're getting about 20,000 new residents every single year alone, and they're coming from places like San Francisco, Oakland, San Jose, and they're not just bringing moving trucks, they're bringing tech jobs, remote work culture, and expectations Sacramento is rising to meet. Look, downtown Sacramento is having a full-on renaissance. Golden One Center transformed the entire downtown core, and that momentum hasn't stopped. New mixed-use buildings everywhere, the restaurant scene has absolutely exploded. Midtown is becoming one of the most walkable, culturally vibrant neighborhoods in all of Northern California. The riverfront along the Sacramento River, completely reimagined, new developments, waterfront dining, entertainment spaces changing what urban living looks like. Old Sacramento is finally being integrated into the downtown, the ways that it actually makes sense for people who live here, not just for the aesthetics of Sacramento. Now, Sacramento is becoming a serious player in California's economy state. Government will always be the foundation of Sacramento, but now you've got thriving tech companies, healthcare hubs around UC Davis Medical Center and Kaiser at the rail yards, and a creative class choosing Sacramento intentionally, not just because they got priced out of somewhere else. Transportation infrastructure is improving, bike lanes are expanding throughout the entire grid, light rail's getting better, downtown's becoming genuinely walkable in ways it never was. Sacramento isn't trying to become San Francisco, it's becoming its own version of modern, and that's what makes it special right now. Now listen, if Sacramento is even remotely on your radar or vision board, don't try to figure out this move on your own. The Sacramento market we're moving into isn't the same it was a few years ago. Where you buy, what you pay, and how you position yourself all matters more than ever. Lauren and I have helped people relocate to the greater Sacramento region every single week, and we see firsthand what happens when somebody makes the right move and what happens when somebody makes a rush in and they just guess their way through it. If you're serious about moving to Sacramento, reach out before you make a move. We want to help you find your next home, be your Sacramento real estate team of choice. Let us set you up for success on your relocation journey. Our contact information is right there on the screen, down in the description, and pinned in the chat. Now here's what people overlook when moving to Sacramento. It's not just affordable California living, it's how your day actually feels when you wake up here in 2026. Living in Sacramento means you've got options, real options. Morning coffee at a local roaster in Midtown or East Sac, a midday work session from a co-working space downtown, or literally working from any outdoor patio because the weather's perfect 9 months out of the year. Evenings, live music, farmers markets, the farm to fork dining that Sacramento pioneered, or even a spontaneous bike ride along the American River Parkway. I felt this recently when Lauren and I did an impromptu date night in Midtown, and she said this city has started to feel completely different. One weekend you're hitting a brunch spot on our street, next weekend you're down at the farmers markets under the freeway, which is actually way cooler than it sounds. Weekends after that, you drive 90 minutes and you're literally shredding up the slopes in Lake Tahoe. That's what makes Sacramento different. 2 hours from San Francisco, 2 hours from Tahoe, 2 hours from Napa. Sacramento isn't the destination, it's a launch pad for everything Northern California has to offer. And you get to live here for half of the cost of some of the neighboring cities. Now let's talk about food because people sleep on this in Sacramento. Sacramento isn't just farm to fork marketing, it's one of the most underrated food cities on the entire West Coast. You got high-end restaurants downtown, you've got authentic international cuisine because this city is incredibly diverse. The craft beer scene is also serious, coffee culture is getting more real than ever, and the nice thing is you can actually get reservations at a restaurant without planning 3 weeks ahead. But here's the magic of Sacramento. You're not locked into one vibe. Urban, suburban, family-focused, artsy, outdoorsy, you can do it all without leaving the metro. Historic bungalows in Curtis Park, modern high-rises downtown, brand new master plan communities in Folsom, Elk Grove, Roseville, you pick it. That's the daily life here. Balanced, active, culturally diverse, full of options without the chaos and the cost that defines most of California. Now, picking your neighborhood. Once you've decided that Sacramento is it, figuring out which neighborhood is probably the next big priority. And I always preach this to match the area to the lifestyle that you want to live, not what you're searching on Zillow. Downtown and Midtown, you got urban, walkable, culture-packed, high-rise living, grid streets, rooftop bars, galleries, live music, restaurants. You want full city energy? This is it. You can walk and bike and scooter to everything. East Sacramento is classic Sacramento charm. Tree-lined streets, Fab 40s, historic homes, walkability, and some pretty killer public schools. You have character homes, your close proximity to McKinley Park, strong community. Now this area can be a little bit pricey for what you get in Sacramento, but the people who live here rarely leave. Land Park and Curtis Park are both family friendly with that suburban in the city type of vibe. William Land Park, you have the zoo, beautiful older homes, quiet streets, you've got a 9-hole golf course, perfect for young families who want that downtown access and a quick brunch on the weekends. Now you've got smaller neighborhoods in Midtown. You've got Alhambra Triangle, Boulevard Park, Elmhurst. You've got walkability and charm without full downtown pricing. Young professionals, medical workers, anyone who wants character homes with urban access. Now branching outside of the Sacramento neighborhoods, we start getting out into the little bit of the suburbs. Natomas is one of the most affordable entry points in Sacramento proper. Newer construction, growing amenities, close to the airport and downtown Sacramento. It's not the most exciting suburb, but it's developing fast and it's a value play for first-time homebuyers. Elk Grove is the major growth engine on the south side of Sacramento. You've got master plan communities, top-rated schools, newer homes, family vibe, massive wave of buyers landing here for space, value, and newer construction homes without a premium price tag. Then you've got Folsom, El Dorado Hills, and Granite Bay out east. These suburbs come with a higher price point, but lifestyle perks, that's what you're paying for here. Newer homes, resort style amenities, close proximity to Folsom Lake and Lake Natoma, strong school districts, and buyers are moving here wanting that suburban comfort with the outdoor recreation mixed right into the fabric of the city. Now Roseville and Rockland are going to be about 25 minutes east of downtown Sacramento, and both of these suburbs are extremely family friendly. You have access to high quality shopping, dining, established community infrastructure, and each one has their own identities. Strong school districts and are extremely popular with a lot of people who are relocating here from out of state. Big takeaway, Sacramento isn't just one place. It's a collection of small micro lifestyles that make up the greater Sacramento metro. Choosing the right one separates people who love living here from the ones who feel like they picked the wrong one every single day. Now, quick pause. If you're finding this information value, hit that like and subscribe button. It helps the video reach more people trying to make smart moves to the Sacramento region. And go ahead and drop a comment down below. Tell me where you're moving from and what neighborhood you're interested in. We read every single one. So now let's talk about some of the stuff that no one wants to talk about, but you're absolutely gonna feel it. The stuff you won't expect until you're actually living here. Now let me hit you with the day-to-day realities that don't make the highlight reel. These are the things that you're gonna feel once you're actually unpacking the boxes and living life here. First up is parking. Downtown and Midtown is straight up annoying. Street parking is limited, meters are everywhere, residential parking permit zones all over the city. So if you're living in one of those historic neighborhoods without a driveway, you're gonna find yourself circling blocks at 9 p.m. looking for a spot just to park. It's just a part of the deal of living downtown. And here's something that catches people completely off guard. The city is bigger than people realize. Sacramento isn't just the downtown core with a few kind of suburbs scattered around it. This is a sprawling metro. It takes about 45 minutes to cross from one side of Sacramento all the way out to the east side in Folsom or Roseville. You want to go from Rockland down to Elk Grove, you're looking at an hour plus, depending on traffic. So when you're choosing where to live, think about where you're actually going to be spending your time, because your distance matters here, especially if you're working and commuting. You don't want to be living on the north side in Rockland or Roseville and commuting all the way to the south side down at Elk Grove. It's just going to make your life miserable. Now, if you're single and moving to the Sacramento, the dating scene and the social scene does require some strategy here, guys. Sacramento scene is a lot smaller than you think coming from a bigger city. It's not impossible, and don't get me wrong, but it's not the endless options that you find in LA or the Bay Area. Most people meet through mutual friends, hobbies, outdoor recreational activities, leagues, and yeah, the apps. But the pool feels limited pretty fast, so you got to be intentional about putting yourself out there. Now, here's something interesting about the professional landscape. The network in Sacramento is tight-knit. You've got state government that dominates the economy, and everybody knows everybody in certain industries. Now, that's actually a good thing once you tap into the right market, and the doors open up fast when you got the right connections. But the flip side, if you burn bridges here, word travels. Your reputation matters more in Sacramento than it might in a massive anonymous city. You're also going to miss certain conveniences that you might be used to, Late night food options are pretty limited compared to some of the bigger cities. Public transit doesn't run 24/7. And if you're coming from somewhere with a true urban infrastructure that never sleeps, Sacramento is going to feel half built in certain areas. It's improving, but it's not there yet. And then there's the seasonal swing. And I'm not just talking about the weather. I'm talking about the entire vibe of the city. Summer Sacramento is energetic. Outdoor events everywhere. People are active. The city feels alive. But winter, things slow down considerably. There's less happening, fewer events, people hunker down, they stay inside. And if you struggle with those seasonal rhythms, you're going to notice it here. The last thing is Sacramento's hidden gems take time to find. The city's best stuff isn't obvious or advertised. The coolest coffee shop? It's in some weird strip mall you'd never expect. The best taco truck? It moves locations. The locals' only swimming holes along the American River? They're not on Google Maps. You gotta live here and tap into the community to unlock all of that. So here's the reality. Sacramento rewards people who actively engage with it, who explore, who put in effort to build connections and discover what makes this place super special. But if you're expecting it to immediately deliver everything on a platter the second you arrive, you're gonna be frustrated. This city reveals itself over time to people who actually invest being in here. All right, now let's talk about money, because Sacramento real estate isn't cheap, but it's still one of the best values and bang for your bucks in California if you know where to look. So right now, the median home price in Sacramento is sitting somewhere between $470,000 to $525,000, depending on what data you're looking at. And the forecast for 2026 is projecting somewhere between 3 to 5% growth, which could push the median closer to about $565,000 next year. Now, that's not explosive, but it's steady appreciation for those who benefit the long term and understand the game. Entry-level homes in Natomas or North Sacramento might be somewhere in that $450,000 to $500,000 range for some older construction or developing neighborhood type properties. Now, the real action starts when you get into that $500,000 to $700,000 range. Solid homes, good neighborhoods, proximity to amenities, strong schools, and solid appreciation potential. Now, if you're eyeing downtown or East Sacramento, bring your checkbook, because you're looking at premium pricing here. $650,000 and up for those historic homes or those modern condos with actual walkability. Midtown's in a similar range, but you're dealing with smaller lots and those character homes that usually need some updates to bring them into those 2026 standards. Now let's talk about where families are actually moving. Elk Grove, Folsom, Roseville, Rockland. You're looking at somewhere between $600,000 to $800,000 for newer construction in some of those master plan communities like West Park, Folsom Ranch, or even that south area of Rancho Cordova. Some of these communities have HOAs, some of them don't. They all have solid schools and all of the suburban amenities that you can imagine. That's where the wave is happening right now. And if you push further into Folsom and El Dorado Hills, you're probably going to be hitting that $775,000 medium in Folsom alone, but you're paying for that lake proximity, newer development, and the lifestyle that premium comes with it. Now here's the decision you're going to face. New construction versus resale. And it's the real decision. New builds give modern layouts, energy efficiency, lower maintenance headaches, but they sometimes come with HOA fees, and most of the time they always come with Mellore's that are adding hundreds of dollars to your monthly cost. Older homes might save you some money up front on the monthly, but they often need updates. HVAC systems, windows, landscaping to match what today's standards are. Now, mortgage rates in 2026 are averaging somewhere between 6 to 6.4%, with projections that could drop closer to that 6.1% later this year. And that's definitely a lot better than the 7+ rates that we were seeing recently. And even a small rate drop like that can significantly impact your affordability and buying powers. But here's the biggest mistake I see buyers making over and over. They're choosing a price point instead of a location strategy. In Sacramento, where you buy matters just as much as what you buy. A $500,000 home in Natomas is completely different investment and a completely different lifestyle than a $600,000 home in East Sacramento or even Elk Grove. You've got to think long term on this. I'm shooting you straight. Sacramento isn't at bargain basement pricing anymore. Those days are long gone, but it's still a smart strategic move for buyers who understand the market, who move with clear intention, and who are playing the long game instead of just chasing the lowest price tag. Real quick, if you want the full breakdown on the best and worst neighborhoods in Sacramento, I've got that video right here. I'll link it at the end. Make sure you are subscribed. We drop new content every week to help you navigate this market like a pro. Now let's talk about who Sacramento actually works for. So let's get real for a second. Sacramento isn't a one-size-fits-all kind of move, but here's the thing that we've seen. When you land in the right pocket that actually matches your lifestyle and what you're actually looking for, people absolutely fall in love with this place. So who's actually thriving here in 2026? Let me break it down. You've got Bay Area refugees who are tired of paying $1.5 million for a median home in San Francisco. They want career opportunities, they want California weather, and they want their money to actually go somewhere. Sacramento delivers all three without the insanity. You have remote workers and hybrid professionals who are absolutely crushing it here. They want year-round outdoor living, access to nature, but they're not willing to sacrifice urban amenities or career growth. Sacramento gives them the best of both of these worlds. Families who value strong schools, safe neighborhoods, and actual space in between your neighbors, but don't want to be completely isolated from culture and opportunity. Now, people who truly value proximity are finding Sacramento unmatched. Think about it. You're 2 hours away from Tahoe, you're 2 hours away from San Francisco, an hour from Napa. Where else can you pull all of that stuff off? You can be snowboarding on the mountain in the morning, and you can be down at the beach in the afternoon. Then you've got the smart buyers looking for appreciation potential. Sacramento's got steady growth, continued migration patterns, economic diversification. It's all happening, and it's a legitimate long-term play. Now, who might struggle here? Now, let me be honest with you. If you're seeking ultra low-cost living, Sacramento's not going to cut it. It's affordable for California, but we're not talking Texas or Florida pricing here, so set your expectations accordingly. If you absolutely hate the heat in Sacramento, summers are going to test you, and they're going to test your patience. I'm talking 100-degree days for sometimes 2 to 2.5 weeks on end. That's the reality. And if you're expecting a walkable only lifestyle like New York or San Francisco where you don't need a car, you're going to be highly disappointed in Sacramento. It is improving on that front, but you still need a car for many things. And if you're looking for beach living and coastal vibes, the coast is 2 hours away and Sacramento is not that. Bottom line, Sacramento works for people who move here with the intention and understanding that people who've done their homework and know exactly what they're getting into. It doesn't work for people who are just chasing the lower purchase price without a plan or a strategy. So here we are, 2026 is the year where Sacramento separates itself from being just that affordable alternative to the Bay Area to becoming an actual city that people are choosing intentionally for what it offers. This isn't some temporary trend or phase we're seeing. This is a long-term evolution driven by real migration, economic growth, and infrastructure investment. The people who are absolutely thriving here aren't just moving because housing's cheaper. They're choosing Sacramento deliberately for the lifestyle, the opportunity, and the proximity to everything California has to offer for the future value that they see coming. And when you truly understand how this city works, where it's headed, and how to position yourself inside it the right way, Sacramento genuinely becomes a powerful place to build a life. So if Sacramento's on your radar right now or in the future, and you want to make sure that you're moving smart and not just moving fast, Lauren and I are navigating this market every single day for buyers who are moving and purchasing homes in the Sacramento region. We're helping people pick the right neighborhoods, we're negotiating the right deals the right way, and we're making sure that people land in the spots that actually are going to make their life thrive. Our contact information is going to be right there on the screen. We are the ones that answer every phone call, email, text message. We never hand you off, and we love connecting with you guys from YouTube and helping you guys make the right move to Sacramento in 2026.